Teaching women self-defense should be punishable by crime.
Jolly Wally's not that jolly today.
Because you're telling a woman that she is going to be able to punch her way out of a physical altercation with a man.
What are we trying to say? That they shouldn't try? I think it's there to teach women some skills on how to deal with potential threats. And if it helps alleviate anxiety for women to navigate around in this world, as it would for men as well, why not make it available for everyone?
It is absolutely not true.
Are we suggesting that it's worse than knowing nothing?
A man can literally eat these punches.
That's quite an assumption. It depends on how hard they punch and perhaps where they punch. Like the crown jewels?
She can literally be a better fighter than him, more skilled, have years of boxing, be a better striker than him, and she will lose.
We're talking about self-defense, not having a boxing match. It's called self-defense, not self-attack. Am I meant to believe a female professional fighter, her skill set is going to be beneath a man who's never had a physical altercation in his life? I have a hunch he's picturing himself in this type of scenario. How do I know this? Well,
Women's UFC champion. I probably should not say this. Buddy of mine, he's like, I wouldn't want to meet her in a parking lot. She's 5'2", 135 pounds. I said, listen, man, no disrespect. I know she's an absolute killer if she caught you on the chin, but I'm picking me.
you're asking what I stand to gain from admitting on a podcast as a man that I think that I could beat up the women's UFC champion.
I'm 6'3", 225 pounds,
Who gives a shit? Get a fucking life!
and I've trained,
Have you trained as much as the women's UFC champion though?
and I've been in fights. I've bled, bro.
You do know that the women's UFC isn't jelly wrestling.
In a fight, size absolutely matters.
It does matter, man.
Do these guys not have one friend with any rational thinking who can just sit with them and say, you guys are a bunch of dickheads?
If you're a woman and you're going to any kind of self-defense class, stop.
The fact that this is shared on an account called Masculine Strength is quite troublesome.
Because all that's doing is giving you some false confidence bullshit. And next time you're in a situation when you need to run,
How are you supposed to run if you're subdued by an attacker? This is where these self-defense skills come in.
you're going to start thinking, oh, I know what to do. You're not fucking Steven Seagal.
They're not encouraging women to reenact fight scenes from kung fu movies. And Steven Seagal's a 7-year-old walrus who only beats people up in movies because it's in the script that he wrote.
You're a hoe. You don't know shit. The only thing women can do is scream and run.
I honestly can't understand why this guy keeps getting labelled as a misogynist. Alright, we've had our fun now. This video is going to get serious. Fair warning. You know who also shares a similar sentiment to what Jolly Wally and Andy Pandy just described?
The best thing to do if you're in a situation is submit until it hurts, because it's going to hurt a lot less in the long run. I got a knife against your throat, I don't care what you know. If I'm willing to kill you, the first move you make, you're going to be dead.
Self-defense course wouldn't help her, man.
A self-defense course would get her killed is what it'd get.
The woman that I was with, Jeff, she fought back and she's dead.
The most heinous men in society. And the argument that men would make would be for women to find men to protect them. But how are women supposed to depend on men to protect them when the number one culprit for bringing harm to women are men who are romantically linked to them? What Jolly Wally and Andy Pandy were describing were women voluntarily getting into a physical altercation with a man and not applying skills to defend yourself and getting yourself out of a potentially life-threatening situation. I'm only going to speak for myself because I haven't experienced what it must feel like to engage with a potential threat who's willing to overpower you and violate you at any means necessary. I don't want to exclude male victims of this type of thing because I want you to feel included in this space and feel heard too. I'd be encouraging everybody to equip themselves with all the tools necessary. It'll ease their anxieties about facing potential threats like this. Discouraging it is despicable. By doing so, you only stand to help the deplorables.